Start then. What I'm going to show you here, hopefully, is how to pour a silver cap on a piece of deer horn. These are just a couple trowel pieces that I made, and there's a little blemish you can see there. This, like I said, this is a trowel piece. This one didn't turn out too bad. It had a slight little tiny gap here, and I filled it up with some epoxy and sanded it off, and you can't even tell. But that was going to be a pipe tamper, and let's see here. There's a cap I put on a piece of 1/2 inch dowel, just as a sample. Now, I practiced a few times. I'm going to try to do this on a project, and what this is a end of a walking stick that I'm making. Like some brass beads and a carved eagle in there. But I want to pour a cap on here, a little silver cap, and this will be the end of the walking stick. So that's what I'm going to attempt to do right now. What I did was I drilled a hole down in here and a couple little series of holes. That lets the solder, I'm hoping, go down in there and keep it from wanting to pull off or peel off of the horn. So I'm going to set the camera up here, melt a little solder, and it's just regular solder, nothing special. Aqua pure, lead free, in a little ladle. Actually, it's a bullet mold that I had. Just dice up the solder with a pair of dikes, and I'll set this up, and I'll melt this, and we'll see if we have any results or not. Let's see what happens. Set her in the vise here. Now I want to take some masking tape. It's just plain masking tape, nothing special, and wrap around there as kind of a guide for the solder to flow into. One thing about it, it's got to be nice and flat in there. Just taking a little file and spinning that around. Need another piece maybe for a backup. Now what this... that's a mess. Here we go. There we go. Now we're talking. A good roll of tape. And tape this on here. Oh, perfect. Kind of, you really want it sealed up around the bottom because you don't want the solder to run down the horn. It makes a little depression like you've seen on there that I found out. And I want to try to get the inside as nice and where the joint on the tape is. Just trying to smooth it out. Like I said, you want to be tight around and sealed around the horn at the very top, at your cut. Have a nice flat cut. Put it on the belt sander and take your time, make a nice smooth surface. So let's see, here tape's not looking too bad. And let's see what happens here. Like I said, this is the real thing. Everything else I've done has been a test. This will be the real deal, if you will, where we pour a good piece instead of a sample. So let's see what happens. The solder is in here, all cut up. Heat her up a little bit. It don't take much. See it melting. I had a little solder in here from before, from previous one of these burns here. You see the impurity when it comes to the top. There, she's melting a bit. There we go. I know this comes to the top, that's no big deal. You don't have to worry about straightening it out, I don't think. Never have before. Here we go, we'll try a little pour. Now this stuff is very hot, so just want to pour a little bit just to get it down in there. I want to tap out the bubbles. Here we go, we're getting ready to pour it. Oh, it is poured. It went quick. I want to tap that a little bit, get that down. I want to try to beat the bubbles out of that a little bit. Get down in them holes that I have drilled. As you can see, the masking tape's holding up pretty good. And it's just temporary. It only takes a second for that solder. It don't take long for that solder to set up. But I want to tap it, get all the air out. Hopefully it's going down in those holes. You can see it's kind of settling in. Oh, there went a little bubble, if you can see it. It's going to pour off the top. Now that'll set up. It's looking pretty good so far. Now every time I tap that, and you might not be able to see it unless I do a close-up here, but a little bit of, you can see it settling, almost like working concrete where you're running a vibrator on concrete. You can see it working down in, and there it's going down. Actually, it's almost less than flush of the top of the masking tape now, where it was bubbled up over. Oh, that might have been a mistake a second ago. Now I do have a little blowout there. I'm hoping that's not going to cause any trouble on this side. But I'll take the camera down here and we'll show you what this looks like. Smells a little bit. There's what we're looking at. Got a little overflow. Now that's poured in there. You see the tape scorched. Here's where I think I might have a little blowout. Hopefully that don't lead to a bubble. And here I'll show you what I mean by a bubble. Would be right there. It's hard to see. It's kind of hard to see, but I'm hoping that don't lead to that. But here's what we're talking. Give it a little bit to cool off here, and you know, I got about out of time on it, so I'm gonna probably have to do a little leg where I finish it up here. So check back with here in a little bit. Let this cool down. I'll start it back up, and we'll see what the results are.